Hey, football fans, and welcome to Locker Room on the Voice of the People TV, your weekly dose of all things football. And I'm Jerry Appelia, and it's Tuesday, so get ready to kickstart your week with the most electrifying moments from the pitch. And I advise that you join me, James, and Maiwa as we break down the biggest matches, explore hottest headlines, and dive into exclusive insider stories. And this is one-stop show for top-notch analysis and all the scoops you need. Of course, let's get ready to rumble. It's time to kick off. All right, James, great to have you once again join us today. So much to talk about.
Yeah, a very good evening to you, Jerry, and also to the audience. Good evening. Another beautiful day to talk football. And yes, it's Tuesday, Champions League day, and
the big boys.
The big boys. We see a lot of mouth-watering fixtures today. The Dortmund and also Real Madrid taking on each other. I want to see how that game is going to go. The Real Madrid side, who has not been 100, and also the Dortmund side, who has been giving it a go in the Champions League. Let's see how it's going to turn out in this particular one. But it's a good day to talk football, though.
It's a good day to talk football. Maiwa joins us as well. Though it's been a while, they've seen Champions League football from Old Trafford. This is what it is. The big boys are making it count. Talking about the likes of Liverpool, Real Madrid, RB Leipzig, and so on. Maiwa, it's great to have you join us. All right, Maiwa.
I'm happy he's not yet to hear what you just said about
Manchester.
But I'm sure he's going to join us as the show progresses.
All right, let's start off with talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria versus Libya. It has left the football pitch to more like a country versus country situation, a diplomatic situation that's become, and this time around, no bombs are going like Israel and Lebanon, but in a developing story from the African football scene, Cameroon and Senegal have rallied behind the Nigerian squad for a decisive victory in the abandoned match against Libya. And the Super Eagles were set to face the Libyans in a crucial World Cup qualifying match when the game was unexpectedly halted due to talking about disturbances, and of course the players and officials all in a state of uncertainty, and we know what happened when the players and the officials were left at the airport for about 15 hours. And somehow it looked like a hostage situation at some point. The players had to abandon the game, and we're waiting for CAF to make a big decision on what's going to happen as far as that game is concerned. So Senegal and Cameroon, our West African brothers, have said that CAF, come on, give the 3 points to the Super Eagles and let everybody just, and also find the Libyans, so that once and for all, the Libyans will learn the hard way. What's your take?
It's rather surprising that the Cameroons and the Senegalese are coming to support of the these Super Eagles, but it's actually a good one because considering the fact that what happened in Libya was something that shouldn't be happening to any football team in the world, and concerning the fact that these are African brothers who held players at hostage for over 16 hours. I love the fact that the Senegalese and also the Cameroon are coming to support the Nigerian FA, and also putting up to CAF that it's taking time. Whereas by now, I was expecting that by now the verdict should be out. I saw a video of the CAF president coming out to give a speech earlier, but he didn't say what we wanted to hear. But they didn't draw a final verdict. But I'm sure before the end of today, I should be expecting something coming out of the way. I don't expect that game to be replayed, because if that game goes on happening again, I will not be surprised if most of the Super Eagles players are out of that game injured, or maybe a very rough one, because I don't expect the Libyan players to be cool and calm about the whole situation. And also, I think the ideal thing is getting them a 3 point and also a fine for the Libyan FA. So we'll just wait and see what the CAF comes up with, maybe before the end of today or maybe tomorrow.
All right, we're here to see what CAF comes out with, where the African football community is waiting upon the Confederation of African Football, where the president has indicated that Libya may face consequences for the harsh treatment experienced by Nigerian Super Eagles during their recently suspended match. The encounter was marked by serious issues where there were disturbances, where the players were held hostage. And of course, the CAF president remarks come in the wake of widespread outrage regarding the conditions under which the Super Eagles were forced to compete. Reports suggest that the players faced intimidation, unsafe conditions from the airport in that situation. Wait to see what will happen. All right, we understand that Maiwa is with us. Maiwa, it's great to have you join us on Locker Room.
It's always amazing to be here. I got in when you were talking about when we were talking about expecting what the CAF president, the CAF committee will come up with. Well, like James rightly said, I hope there's no point playing that particular game again. It's really for Nigeria to go and play that particular game again, because I mean, the Libyans, definitely something's going to happen to the Libyans. I don't know how heavy the punishment is going to be, but something's going to happen to the Libyans. It might not be in favor of Nigeria for Nigeria to go and play that particular game again. I think CAF should just probably give us the 3 point and probably punish Libya. I think it's a good one that everybody's calling out Libya for their bad behavior, so that everybody will know that this kind of behavior does not have any place in African football in 2024. But like I always say, it's a good Tuesday to talk football. Thank you for having me.
All right, we also want to let our viewers know that we encourage you to drop comments each time you do, and we always acknowledge those comments whenever they come. And we also would appreciate that you subscribe and, of course, like our videos each time you get to be a part of our shows, most especially on Locker Room. And, of course, you can also call in and drop 1 or 2 incentives. We also encourage our viewers to call in and also tell us wherever you are watching us from, wherever you're watching us from, whichever part of the world you're watching the program from. Okay, yesterday we had to correct, it was a comment where someone said that we're dropping the fake information that CAF has released the shortlist. But if you had watched the program from the beginning to the end, you would have understand that we came out to the position that CAF said there's nothing true about that information. So we just made an assumption, okay, if those 2 players were out running for the CAF Player of the Year, who would have picked it? Who should make the top 3? So we're just making random suggestions as far as that one is concerned. All right, still talking about the Libya-Nigeria situation. What would you suggest that CAF do? Do you think they should give the Super Eagles the 3 points? And though our guys are saying, just give Nigeria the 3 points and let us go. And Ikbeba has insisted that no 3 points worth the lives of the Super Eagles players. As of course, the former African Footballer of the Year, said that he is in support of what the Super Eagles actually did, talking about boycotting the game after the way they were treated at the airport. So if it's coming from the former African Footballer of the Year, what do you think about Ikbeba's comments about the way the Eagles boycotted that game?
I think no player was going to be fit enough to play in such conditions. Let's not forget how long they were kept in the airport, and barely 24 hours before a game, they were still in the airport. So what were you expecting? You don't expect them to come out and train and rest and come and play a game. This will be done in less than 24 hours. And let's not forget how they were handled. They were kept in the airport for over 16 hours without food, without water. Credits to the flight crew that were able to get them something to eat. And the players slept. We saw the pictures now. So players in that condition will go and play in game. And let's not forget how far away they were from the airport, from the stadium. They're about 300 kilometers away from the airport. I expect them to, after skipping them in the airport for over 16 hours, you expect them to take a vehicle from where they are stay to the hotel, rest, train, and still come out and play game in the space of 24 hours.
There's no going to even be time for them to lodge anymore.
That's the thing.
Take a look at the kilometers they'll have to travel to Benghazi and make their way to Bambali where they are supposed to play that game. There would have been no time for them to even rest or even chill.
And let's not forget they were on a plane for over. Just imagine moving from West Africa to North Africa. I know how long they were flying. Only for them to get to the airport, you kept them there for over 16 hours.
It was all deliberate.
So it was all deliberate. I think this was just the only solution, because even if the Eagles had played that game, I'm sure most of all those players would have gotten injured from the game because they don't have a good plan for them. It's obvious the plans were not supposed to favor them. And the Libyan FA, I'm surprised. I don't even know how they're acting this way. I don't know why they're acting surprised. What were they expecting? They were expecting you to keep these players for 16 hours and they will come and nothing will happen. And you expect them to play the game barely 24 hours away. And you expect them. What were they thinking? I think if I thought they wanted to do it, if I thought they claimed that the NFF did the same thing to them, I'm sure they didn't keep them in the airport for up to 16 hours. I'm sure they didn't keep them in the airport.
To walk straight to the stadium.
And I'm sure they didn't keep them up to 6 hours in the airport. And then let's not forget, they got to Nigeria, they still trained.
And they made the decision.
And they rested. Even after they still went to Port Harcourt and did the drama, and they were still giving them security team to escort them all the way from Port Harcourt to Uyo. So I see no reason why they are acting up.
They're not held hostage in any circumstances.
The crazy thing is, you know how busy an airport can be. They were kept in this particular airport for over 16 hours. Nobody was coming, nobody was going out. So you can't tell me that it's not a deliberate act. It's obvious it's a deliberate act. And I love the fact that the boys were quick enough and smart enough to boycott the game. Even before it even got to the 16 hours. It was in the morning, Trostekong and the team already decided they were not going to play the game. I just put out there. So it's actually a good one. And I'm just waiting for what CAF is going to decide. And let's see what the punishment is going to look like. Surely the 3 points it should be in the bag at this moment. It should be in the bag at this moment because the Libyan FA and the team knows they were not going to get the full 3 points in that game. Considering the fact that they just played what they saw in Uyo and how they were able to still not get the full 3 points in Uyo, they knew they were not going to get a point or maybe 3 points in Libya. So I think they were just trying to frustrate the players and maybe make them play the game, and anything that happens. But the boys were wise enough to see that it was a tactic that they don't want to, a game they don't want to play, and they came back to Nigeria.
All right, Mayowa, Ikpeba says that it's disgraceful that some believe that the players should have proceeded with the match despite the circumstances. And he posited that the players' lives is more paramount than any 3 points. That it's not worth risking their lives. What's your take on Ikpeba's comments?
Well, I think I fully back Ikpeba. First of all, the location they took the boys to, that location is very notorious for being under the control of some particular militias and warlord. And even the airport was not that safe for the Super Eagles. That's number one. Number two, they kept them waiting for over 17 hours without food, without proper rest. And it will be foolish for the boys to say they are in a good condition to play any football match. The number three, which is also very, very insulting to Nigeria and the players as a whole, the kind of bus they provided for them. I mean, the pictures of the bus was floating online, and James rightly named that bus Sakaba bus, which was trending online after the show. I mean, it shows how disrespectful they wanted to treat Nigerians, and you don't expect Nigeria to travel. The boys, after wasting about 16, 17 hours in the airport without food, without proper rest, travel another 7 hours to the stadium. They will have barely no time to rest, nothing to do, just to go to the stadium and play that game. I think they made the right decision. Anybody that is blaming the boys or faulting them for not playing the game, I probably think the person should go and probably get a boot, get a jersey, and probably represent Nigeria. Anything aside from that, what the boys did, they actually, did the right thing. Staying away from an hostile situation and not going to participate. And this is the reason why CAF is taking this seriously. If the boys are stomached the disrespect and decide to play for the sake of playing, they would have made more money for CAF, and CAF wouldn't have addressed the situation. Remember, we've had this same experience. Our football clubs from Nigeria have had the same experience, and they decided to play. Rivers United trained in the dark, and they went on to play that particular game. So this is not the first time this is happening. And people stomach this kind of thing and play, and CAF will not say anything. So it's a good one that the boys did not do anything and decided not to play that particular game.
All right, and of course, it seems the Libyans have been getting away with this act, and it just had to be that this was the last straw. And of course, they messed with the wrong team when it comes to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Talking about Super Eagles, where winger Chidera Ejuke is said to be sidelined for a minimum of 3 months following a hamstring injury he sustained over the weekend. And Ejuke, who recently made his return to the Super Eagles after an extended absence, was forced to leave Sunday's La Liga match against Barcelona due to injury. And of course, this is really bad news for Chidera Ejuke. He was just picking up his acts He was getting up his acts together, playing for Sevilla, scoring goals, and he just made a return to the Super Eagles. Unfortunately, he could not play as much minutes we would have expected in those two Super Eagles games because one was abandoned and one he got some few minutes. But take a look at it. I think this is really, really going to be a hard 3 months for Chidera.
Yeah, a very difficult one for him. Let's not forget, he just made the move from to Spain, the Spanish side Sevilla, and I think he scored in the last game before in the international break, thinking that he was going to come back and continue the same way as he was firing, and getting only for him to get injured against Barcelona over the weekend. Now he's going to be 3 months out. I think it's a sad one for him, but he's going to come back better. And footballers, they know this part of the game. You get injured. It's not something that they pray for, but it's meant to happen because contacts will come, tackles will come in, and you cannot predict when the time is going to be. But it's a sad one that Ejuke will be out for 3 months. Let's hope he just comes back stronger, and I'm sure he's going to be missed by the Sevilla side. Now they have to rely on somebody else to fill in the position, and also the Kelechi Iheanacho, who has not been fired, doing very well. I just hope he gets targeting it right in front of goal for them at this point.
All right, so Maiwa Chidera Ejuke is out for 3 months, and I didn't know. I think the Super Eagles' next game is going to be in March next year. I can't remember right now, or November.
I think November.
Okay, and that means if the Super Eagles will have to look for Chidera Ejuke, he might not be available for the next 3 months. Pretty sad for the young man.
Well, it's going to be an interesting 90 days for him. I mean, he'll be out for 90 days, sitting down watching, Sevilla. I mean, even, Sevilla has been struggling a bit. Yes, their performance has been inconsistent. However, if you have an Ejuke playing, there is always, there is always this belief that, there is a way he affects the game positively. Yes, the last game, they were so unfortunate that they lost scandalously to Barcelona. In that particular game, he also got injured very, very early in that particular game. So I'm just hoping that he recovers quickly and is able to get back, into shape and be able to reclaim himself. Because sometimes when players get injured like that, before they come back, somebody would have taken their place, and it takes a bit of time before they get their place back in the team. That's one. Number two, remember, he's just making a move to that particular team. He's just beginning to get into the rhythm with that particular team, getting much more playing time, and the injury has disrupted that. I just hope he can focus on rehabilitation, recover quickly, and get back to playing times. Although sometimes they might tell us the injury might take about 3 months, depending on how his body reacts. It might even be back before that time. I'm hoping probably maybe he can recover in 2 months' time and probably be part of the Sevilla team, because him constantly playing makes his game much more better, and also that will also translate into him playing positively for the Nigerian team. I just wish him the best of luck, and I wish him quick recovery.
All right, wish him all the best. Okay, let's move over to the next conversation, where Ghana international Mohamed Kudus has been charged with violent conduct by the English Football Association following the Premier League match between Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham last Saturday. And of course, Kudus received a red card during West Ham's 4-1 loss at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for kicking Spurs defender Mikey van der Ven and pushing both Van der Ven and midfielder Pape Matassa in the face. And the FA's charge against Kudus includes violent conduct and improper behavior related to an incident that occurred after the initial offense for which he was sent off. Additionally, both Tottenham and West Ham are facing charges for failing to ensure their players did not act in an improper, provocative, or violent manner during Kudus' dismissal. Kudus was initially issued a yellow card for his push on Van der Ven, but it was later changed to a red card upon a VAR review that revealed the pushes on both Van der Ven and Sam. And of course, Kudus should know better. He's a professional. And these are not really interesting times for the young man. He goes to Ghana. He's on the losing side. He comes back to play for West Ham.
I think I've been able to watch I think 2 or 3 games of the West Ham this season alone, and you keep on seeing the effort he's putting in this particular team to make sure that it works. You see him in the midfield, you see him on the right side, you see him on the left side. Even sometimes he goes back to the defense just to make sure things get better, and they end up losing and losing and losing. Even in this particular game against Tottenham, he scored a goal in the first half. Before the end of the first half, I think it was already 3-1. So I think the frustration is actually getting to him, and he's a professional. I think he should learn how to manage such situations. And I saw the tackle, and I was like, "What's going on? This guy is far." He was far very angry at whatever was going on in his mind, and I just hope he comes back better, and maybe in the summer he makes a move out and don't sign any contract at West Ham, because West Ham has been a club that is never consistent. Let's not even forget when David Moyes was there, it was not always rosy for them. They were struggling and struggling. They will give you one good season. The next season they will fall back. They will sell their main players and fall back to what it was, what something was. So Mohamed Kudus should make sure he does not sign a new contract, and him and his agent should be looking for a way out of West Ham in the summer, if possible January.
Manchester United be looking at him.
He's not a bad player. He's not a bad player. He's a player that He's a player that can even fit anywhere in the attack. So he's somebody that I'm sure most coaches will want to get in their team. So he's not a player that wants.
Price tag might not be that much.
West Ham. Let's not forget this West Ham. He will rip you.
And he's an African player.
He's an African player. So I think 50-60 million should complete the deal for Kudus. But who's going to get him? That's the question.
If it's not one of those his boys.
He was in Ajax with him. Don't forget.
Did he play on the Eric Ten Hag?
I can't remember. I think it was after Anthony left, they got Kudus.
All right, Maiwa, Kudus is in trouble. It looks like he might be going for 4 matches because now he has been charged for improper conduct. And maybe it's time he start looking at other options.
Well, it's going to be 5 matches. If he appeals and the appeal fails, he's going to get 5 matches. Well, they're going to miss him for 5 matches. Kudus should have, all the young guys should have put it on Emerson. Before that particular game, I spoke about, the left fullback of West Ham misbehaving and goals always coming from that position. And the same thing happened on Saturday again. Emerson playing the left back for West Ham, I don't think he's the right person. I think Lopetegui should find a replacement for him. Two of the 4 goals came from that left-hand side. So if Kudus was to be angry and frustrated, he should have probably took out the anger and frustration on Emerson, because the Emerson let the team down. That's number 1. Number 2, remember the last 2 games that Ghana played, Kudus was part of that. He had to even release a statement on X apologizing to Ghanaian fans. Everybody in Ghana, they were coming for him. They came for his family. They came for him personally, and it was a very ugly situation. Some of their journalists in Ghana even had to come out in his defense and the rest of that, because the team was playing badly generally. However, Kudus was singled out for criticism, and the criticism was very, very brutal. I think Kudus is not in the right frame of mind, and coupled with the fact that he's putting in the effort, the rest of the team in West Ham, they are letting him down. That made this frustration boil over. However, you are a professional. You have to keep your head in the game. You have to be level-headed. You cannot go down with your discipline, because this is a bad look for him. Any club that wants to sign him now will have that back of their mind that if things don't go well, Kudus might probably lash out, and that might not be a good look for him. Like James rightly said, I think Kudus made a mistake coming to a West Ham. West Ham was never a club he should have come to play for, because I felt his capacity and his skill and his level of performance was above West Ham. I don't know the reason why he came to West Ham. I just hope he committed his future to West Ham, because West Ham will continue to frustrate him. He should take his five games ban on the chin and probably learn 1 or 2 lessons about managing frustration. It's just so sad that it's this kind of situation right now, and I hope that he really gets his mind off this kind of thing so that he can focus on playing good football or on the field of play.
All right, let's see how that pans out. Okay, and let's talk about the biggest club football competition. Talking about the UEFA Champions League is upon us tonight. So many games to look forward to. Aston Villa manager Unai Emery has revealed that his team is gearing up for a challenging match against Bologna in tonight's UEFA Champions League clash. With 2 victories in the competition so far, Aston Villa has the opportunity to make significant progress toward the next round. And Emery and emphasized that the team is well prepared to take on Bologna. This is a challenge, he said, they face every day and with each match they play. If you want to look at what he has achieved so far, beating Bayern Munich, you want to give his team a chance against Bologna tonight.
Definitely, definitely. I don't think it's one that should be questioned at this point. The way Aston Villa have been able to manage themselves this season. Let's not forget when they qualified for the Champions League last season. We were looking at how will Unai Emery be able to manage this particular side, able to manage his talent. In Champions League comes with a lot of games, not just the Champions League. You play in Champions League, you play in week in, week out, something they were not used to. But at this point, they have been able to prove doubters wrong, getting a maximum point in their previous Champions League games. And now looking at the game against Bologna, Bologna has not been doing very well. Just one game in the past 4 games, 1 win in the last 4 games, 3 draws and 1 win. So it's not looking like something that will favor Bologna at this point. Unai Emery, a very experienced man, getting the victory against Bayern Munich, that inspiration alone going into this match is a very big one for Unai Emery's side. Well, I'll just see what happens in the Champions League. He cannot predict. I will not be surprised at the end of the day Bologna gets the victory. But let's see.
All right, Mayowa, you expect Aston Villa, with the way they've dispatched the likes of Bayern Munich, to do the job at home tonight when they take on Bologna?
Well, the game is about 2 teams that don't have much experience in the Champions League. Remember, Aston Villa took a very long hiatus in the Champions League before they qualified again. Bologna, this is their first time playing the Champions League. And since Thiago Motta left them, to go to Juventus, Bologna have been struggling. Like James rightly said, they just have 1 win in the last 4 or 5 games, and that's a very poor result. Bologna have a point to prove because, a whole lot of people are writing them off. And I think if they can get their act together, they have the quality to be able to shock the Aston Villa team. However, one thing that has been very consistent with the Aston Villa team is this. Even when they are not playing well, remember the game against Bayern Munich? Bayern Munich dominated that particular game. They had about 69% of possession, and Aston Villa defended so well, and they found a way to win that particular game, giving them the maximum point in the Champions League group. So with the form Aston Villa is coming in, they won over the weekend. They've been winning consistently. The only glitch in their run is the draw against Manchester United, and I think that has been forgotten now with the kind of performance they put in over the weekend. To be honest with you, I think it favors them a whole lot. I think the pendulum swings in their favor, and they should probably be able to dispatch the Bologna team. I'm looking forward to see what Bologna will be able to do. Let's see if they can be able to turn their season around. But with the way things are, I think Aston Villa should be able to take it. And Unai Emery is proving once again that he's not a small coach in Europe, and people should probably be on the lookout for him.
All right, let's take a look at the UEFA Champions League games tonight. Definitely, we'll have to take it one after the other as much as we can. And the game between Milan and Club Brugge is happening right there at the San Siro. Milan will be seeking for redemption after suffering 2 defeats in the group stage, despite showing promise in their recent 1-0 loss to Leverkusen, which left coach Paulo Fonseca optimistic. For Club Brugge, they are coming off a 1-0 victory over Sturm Graz, and they expect Milan to be desperate for points. And notably, Milan has won only 2 of their last 11 Champions League games in the group stage. I think Milan is planning not to advance to the next stage because I don't know what it is. But anyway, they faced tough side in the first 2 games, but not the Milan we used to know.
Definitely not the Milan we used to know. And let's not forget, they're coming off the back of a very tough one over the weekend, where they were able to secure just a 1-0 victory with the goal coming from Samuel Chukwueze. It's going to be a tough one. Club Brugge, let's not forget, Club Brugge too have not a pushover because in the fact that AC Milan has not gotten any point in the Champions League this season, and the time is going. So I'm sure it's going to be a tough one, and let's see how they are going to manage the 2 teams.
Mayowa, Milan up against Club Brugge. Where would the pendulum swing?
Well, Milan is very inconsistent, and you can in the last 10-11 years, apart from the season, what's his name now? Ibrahimovic was there, and Rafael Leao was in top form. They were able to win the league. apart from that, in the last 11 years, Milan has been very, very inconsistent. The days where you think in Milan, you put Milan in the conversation of Real Madrid, of this world, Juventus of this world. I think that days are over. The current crop of players they have now, they are not stepping up to the plate. There's a lot of inconsistency. Paulo Fonseca, since taking over, has been struggling. I think his move from Portugal to Italy has been, probably maybe the shock of how Italian Serie A is. He has not been able to adapt to how the Italian game has been, and that's the reason why they've been struggling. They would, when you expect them to win, they will draw. When you expect them to draw, they will win. When you expect them to win, they will even lose. So I mean, they've not been consistent, and their inconsistency might come to bite them in the butt again. They've been defending so poorly in the Champions League, conceding goals with reckless abandon, and that's the reason why they have 0 points. Club Brugge, on the other hand, they've been able to turn their first day of game disappointment. They've been able to turn it around, and they have the capability to be able to shock AC Milan. This is not the first time AC Milan is losing at home. I will not be shocked if Club Brugge can go there and probably get a point or even get a win, because I mean, it's not the first time AC Milan is losing in the stadium. So for me, I'll probably say Club Brugge would take it. If I were to be a betting man, I'll probably give Club Brugge 55% chance of winning and probably AC Milan 45% chance of winning. So Club Brugge takes it for me.
All right, but that will be unfair on Paulo Fonseca's side. They are at home at the San Siro. It should be a fortress for them. No thanks to the fact that the last time they played at the San Siro, they played against the Liverpool side who was on form. And although they showed some bit of signs with Pulisic getting a goal in that one, and they say the rest is history. They got Umel.
We'll find out how serious they are and how fortress enough the San Siro is tonight when they take on Club Brugge. But I don't think it's going to be an easy one for them.
Let's not forget, Chukwueze is on form at the moment.
Scoring a goal.
Scoring a goal. Yeah. And we also have Fikayo Tomori, who's also playing for them.
Chukwueze is on form. However, the problem has always been how the team plays generally. One or two players. See, the thing is this: most of the time when AC Milan, and it's not even a Paulo Fonseca thing. This has been happening over the last 2-3 seasons. Most of the time when AC Milan comes out with excellent results, it is 1, 2, or 3 players that step up to the plate and do the job. The team generally is playing poorly, and the team has not been able to raise their game, and that has been the issue with with the AC Milan team. That's number one. Number two, San Siro was a fortress before, but in the last 4 or 5 years, it is no fortress for anybody. Even smaller club in Italy, I can't remember the name of the club now. The club got relegated last season, went to San Siro and poured pepper in their eye that day. So I mean, the fortress, tag of San Siro, I think it has been washed away. I hope Fonseca will be able to rebuild, San Siro to become a fortress again, or else, anything can just come there and just do the magic again. Then, to be honest with you, AC Milan is the new Manchester United in Italy.
It's Pro Max.
And the thing is that Paulo Fonseca's job is on the line. If they continue on this downward trend, I don't know whether he'll be able to secure his job for a long time. And definitely it's going to be a very difficult one for him. But I will be so excited to see 3 Nigerians in this game. Let's not forget Rafael Onyedika. He's one of the prime players.
One of the most important players for Club Brugge. And he's been on a fantastic run of form of late. That's also one of the players I want to see make a move in the summer. Let's not forget, before and they just concluded transfer market, there were rumors of him making a move. I think it didn't fall through, and that's one player that is very important for Club Brugge. And let's see what's going to be bringing this season, and not just tonight's game, just throughout the whole of this season. Let's see how he's going to manage his affairs at Belgium and also in the Champions League. And I hope he gets the attention from top clubs, so he can make a move in the summer. I want to see that guy playing in a much better league than the way he's currently, because it's good. It's good.
And interestingly, we have 4 Nigerian origin players. There's no Okafor, who also plays for AC Milan. And though he's not going to be playing for Nigeria because he has made his choice. I think he's playing for Austria.
Is it Austria or the Swiss? One of them.
One of the countries, Switzerland, as the case is. All right, let's talk about the second game, which is also an early kickoff game, 6:45 p.m. Nigerian time. Monaco takes 5:45 p.m. Nigerian time. Okay, Monaco started strong with a win over Barcelona, but required a comeback to draw with GNK and Dynamo. And of course, Zveda intends to build on their experiences against strong opponents in the quest to break a 12-match winless streak at the Champions League. The Serbian side has not had a goalless game in their last 19 matches. If you want to put your money on Zveda to concede, this is this is this is one match you want to do that because they are consistent customers. They like to give. They are
over 1.5.
they are givers never lack when it comes to that one. So, but it is what it is. You expect Monaco to do well.
Yeah. Considering the fact that it's going to be held in France, it's supposed to be an easy one for Monaco if they are okay. Because at this point, you cannot predict most of all these clubs, and it's supposed to be a Monaco day.
Maiwa, you expect Monaco to pick this one as a home side.
Yeah, I think Monaco should be able to take it. They've been doing pretty well in their league. They've been very consistent in their league. And I think Saveza will probably want to turn back the hands of time and probably try and dribble themselves out away from the 12 winless run. However, I wanted to say something as regards the AC Milan side the other time. I think firing Paulo Fonseca will be a knee-jerk reaction. They need to give him time, that's number one. And two, AC Milan need to change their recruitment policy. If you go and look at all the players AC Milan assembled now, 8 out of the first 11, they are rejects of other club that is coming to AC Milan. That is not the kind of AC Milan we know before. AC Milan is a club where top players want to play, not reject, bench warming players of other teams will come and start making the team. So I think firing Paulo Fonseca will not be the right move. They should stick to him and give him time to be able to get his own player in, and they have to also change their recruitment strategy because this strategy will not serve them, and that is what is making AC Milan become ordinary.
All right, and of course, over the weekend, Monaco played out a goalless draw. I hope the goals have not run dry. And the last time they met Zveda, they beat them 4-1. So there you have it. I don't know whether Gogo will come, but it is what it is. Well, to be on the safe side, the straight win, maybe over 1.5, will be very much appreciated.
Are you giving me them tips?
Yeah.
Are you giving them tips for all the bets?
You can catch that
one. Well, Jerry, if you want to be safe, probably you just do an over 0.5. Probably that will probably do it because I know Savesa will definitely concede. But how much they will concede, we don't know.
All right, let's talk about one of the underachievers this season. Talking about PSG. Of course, that's also another big game. Paris Saint-Germain taking on PSV Eindhoven. PSV managed a 1-1 draw against Sporting Lisbon after falling to Juventus, while Paris Saint-Germain is looking to improve after a disappointing loss. And of course, Paris has lost only once at home in their last 37 group stage matches. When you have to rely on Dembele and I've forgotten the other striker. Kolo Muani. That is the situation you find yourself. They like to miss more than they score.
I think this is going to be a very difficult one for PSG, the Paris Saint-Germain team. It's not going to be an easy one like what they have been experiencing. I'll not be surprised if they lose this one or maybe a draw at the end of the day. Considering the fact that the only game they have gotten maximum points was against Girona. Let's not forget when the goal came. The goal came in at about the 93rd or 92nd minute of the game. So I'll not be surprised if they go the same route against PSV. PSV, who is the much better side than what the Girona side was. I'm not be surprised if they lose this one. And also looking at the fact that Dembele might not still be playing him, and I don't know if him and Enrique have settled their misunderstanding. If he'll be making it in the team, but I didn't follow their game over the weekend. But I know they got the victory. I don't know if Dembele was in that particular 11. But if he's not available for this game, then he will have to rely on the likes of just Kolo Muani and Bakula, and also let's just see how he's going to manage. But the PSV side looks like a team that is much prepared for this game than what the Paris Saint-Germain team looks like. But let's see. This football, we don't know what can happen.
All right, Mario, for PSG to be at their own peril to rule out PSV Eindhoven, they are going to be as difficult as Girona was the last time they
Times
played
two.
at the Parc des Princes. So they should be able to up their ante. They should be able to convert any chance that comes their way.
Well, you remember what happened to Manchester United the last time Manchester United played in the Champions League, and that we only managed a win. I think that's the same thing is going to happen to PSG. Enrique was very stubborn. He had the opportunity to sign an Osimhen, a proven goal scorer, that probably turned things around for me. What did he do? He decided to let Osimhen go and be playing in
Turkey.
Turkey. I mean, which does not make any sense. He even allowed him to go on loan. Why not allow Osimhen come on loan to PSG, and he would have probably been able to do the magic? PSG has been playing poorly. Even in the league, they've been really struggling. So I don't expect much from them. To be honest with you, if they are part of the second eight, the first eight will qualify, then 9th to 17th or 16th will play the playoff and just for that. If they are part of the second eight, probably maybe they just got there by luck. I don't expect anything fantastic from them. The best result they can get, the result that fits their performance is probably them getting out of the Champions League, because they have no business in the Champions League at the moment. I think Luis Enrique has run out of ideas, and probably maybe the PSG board should be thinking of replacing him, because the result has not been fantastic, and he has not been able to get the best out of the players that he has. How do you rely on the Dembele and Kolo Muani and you expect to do anything fantastic in the league or in the Champions League? So for me personally, I won't be surprised if PSV, probably get to win this particular game.
All right, and taking a look at Juventus, they've been awesome so far this season. I think the way they play attack-wise has been impressive. Vlahovic has rediscovered himself. There's still a lot of young players in that setup that are doing great things. And I can't remember the name of the player who scored more like a television advert goal.
Is it Ulis?
I think
the Turkey player
Yeah.
that scored against the first game, right?
Yeah.
I think it's Ulis also.
Fantastic player. And then they take on Stuttgart too. Stuttgart, the brand of football Stuttgart plays, the confidence on the ball is really interesting. Stuttgart is one team I love to watch play from the German Bundesliga, and they're going to give Juventus a run for the money at the Turin later tonight. Those Stuttgart expressed frustration over their 1-1 draw despite dominating possession. I saw that game against Sparta Prague. I saw some glimpses of that. I think I fell in love with the way Stuttgart plays, and they're going to give Juventus a lot to really look forward to tonight.
Credit to Thiago Motta. Now he has been able to redesign the way Juventus play. And let's not forget, Juventus has been one side who has been suffering, who has been inconsistent for a while now. And credit to Thiago Motta. He did it at Bologna, and now it's working for him at Juventus, and he's doing very, very well. Credit to him, a young manager. And also looking at this particular game, Stuttgart. I think this is one team I'm feeling very bad for, because the game against Real Madrid, they had all the chances to win that game. Just luckily for Madrid, they were able to sneak from behind and also get maximum points. And also the game against Sparta Prague, I was able to catch the highlight of the game, and I was looking at the chances they got again, and they missed. So today, I'm sure it's not going to be it's not going to be one of the easiest matches they have faced, because Juventus has been doing very, very well in the league and also in the Champions League. So I'll not be surprised if they suffer a very big defeat against Juventus, because the style of play of Juventus is not one that's.
And they have injuries to key players too.
Yeah.
Stuttgart. We heard that Dan Axel Zagadou and Chris Furich are among the high-profile names who are sidelined for this one. But definitely, with the fact that Juventus has won in their last 5 matches against German clubs, Maiwa, you expect them to pick the 3 points tonight.
Well, yes, I think everybody will expect Juventus to be able to do the job. Thiago Motta has been very fantastic. He's one of the coach that, a lot of people, the jury was out on him when Juventus appointed him as their manager, because, he probably, because of what he did in Bologna, a lot of people felt he doesn't have, he's not a big enough coach to handle the Juventus team. However, he's been able to prove some people wrong. At least so far, he's been able to prove a lot of his doubters wrong. I think he has the opportunity to be able to do more. However, the Stuttgart team, a lot of people are sleeping on the Stuttgart team. Against Real Madrid, they had the chance to kill off that particular game, but did not take their chances. And my problem with Stuttgart has always been they dominate possession, but most of the time they don't convert their chances. And I hope they can turn that around. That has been the only missing link in their game. They create a lot of chances. They don't get to score, and if you don't score goals, you don't win matches. And that's the reason why Madrid should be thanking their stars that they were lucky enough to be able to take their own chances when they had it, because Stuttgart did not take theirs. So if Stuttgart continues in that particular form, probably maybe a Juventus might probably take it because of what Thiago Motta has been able to do with that team, turning their performance around so far.
All right, and because of time, we'll have to look at the game between Real Madrid and Dortmund, a replica of the final last season. And of course, this one is at the Bernabeu. And for Arsenal, they take on Shakhtar Donetsk. Arsenal not really looking like pretenders in the Premier League like they usually do. But you expect them to pick 3 points tonight against Shakhtar. For Real Madrid, you would expect them as well to beat Dortmund.
I think the Real Madrid side that played the final is a much more different Real Madrid side that will play today. Let's not forget injury to major key players and also retirement of Toni Kroos is one thing that might affect them going into this game. And let's not forget how Dortmund has been in the Champions League this season. The amount of goals they've been able to score. And just to be honest, Real Madrid side are not they are not getting it yet. They have the big names, but the big names are yet to understand themselves and get the numbers that we need. So I'll not be surprised if it's going to be a close one. It's not going to be one of the easy ones that Real Madrid will walk over. And also Arsenal, we expect them to transfer the aggression of losing to Bournemouth over the weekend on Shakhtar and getting maximum points. And let's not forget, Arsenal are yet to concede a goal in the Champions League this season. And after playing clubs like Bayern Munich, playing clubs like PSG, and yet to concede goals. So I think it's a good one for them, and they should be getting maximum points from this.
Mario, if 30 seconds is not too much, we would like you to wrap it up then.
Yeah, well, I think Arsenal should be able to win their game. The aggression of the EPL, take it out on Shakhtar Donetsk and reboot yourself for the next game over the weekend. I think that will be the fitting way to be able to that will put them in the mind frame of a winning mind frame for the weekend because of the players they will be missing. For Real Madrid, if Dortmund can take their chances, I think they have an edge over Real Madrid. Real Madrid has been struggling against Stuttgart. It took them the last 15 minutes before they could be able to win. So if Dortmund can come out and play the way they usually play and attack the Real Madrid side, they'll probably win that particular game. But it's going to be an interesting game, and I'm looking forward to see what Arsenal and Madrid probably do today.
All right, I hope they've not scored all their goals against Celtic, where they beat them 7 goals to 1. They should ask Manchester United what it means to score 7 and start looking for goals in the next matches. All right, that's how we wrap it up, Maiwa. Thanks for being a part of the show this evening. Always a pleasure having you.
It's always amazing to be here, and I hope for the sake of Arsenal chasing the league, they can do something fantastic against Shakhtar tonight. Thank you for having me.
I wish them all the best. James, it's been awesome having you as well.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to looking at the Real Madrid and Dortmund match. It's going to be a tough one. And for now, we're going to see what Milan and Monaco are going to do for 5:45.
All right, so big thanks to the guys behind the scene talking about the likes of Shegun, Samuel, Jeremiah, and of course, Ike Chukwu. My name is Chidera Ejuke. Thanks for being a part of the show. Until we meet again, stay safe, and if not, to anything at all, do it the sport way.